Chapter 3. Jazz burst through the door and turned immediately into the small library off the front hall. Her uncle was sitting there at his desk, surrounded by built-in bookcases. He looked up in surprise. "Uncle Bracken, who was my mother? How did my parents die?" It all came out in a single rush of breath. And then Jazz wanted to say, "Tell me the truth." But instead she heard herself saying wildly, "Tell me it's not true. It's not possible, is it, Uncle Bracken? I'm so scared." Her uncle stared at her for a moment. There was shock and despair in his face. Then he bent his head and shut his eyes. "But how is it possible?" Jazz whispered. "How am I here?" It was hours later. Dawn was tinting the window. She was sitting on the floor, backed against a bookcase, where she clapped, staring emptily into the distance. "You mean, how can a vampire human half-breed exist?" "I don't know. Your parents never knew. They never expected to have children." Uncle Bracken ran both hands through his hair, head down. "They didn't even realize you could live as a vampire. Your father brought you to me because he was dying, and I was the only person he could trust. He knew I wouldn't turn you over to the Night World Elders." "Maybe you should have," Jazz whispered. Uncle Bracken went on as if he hadn't heard her. "You lived without blood then. You looked like a human child. I don't know what made me try to see if you could learn how to feed. I brought you a rabbit and bit it for you and let you smell the blood." He gave a short laugh of reminiscence, and your little teeth sharpened right up and you knew what to do. "That was when I knew you were a true red for me." "But I'm not," Jazz heard the words as if someone else was speaking them from a distance. "I'm not even a night person. I'm vermin." Uncle Bracken let go of his hair and looked at her. His eyes, normally the same silvery blue as Jazz, were burning with a pure silver flame. "Your mother was a good woman," he said harshly. "Your father gave up everything to be with her. She wasn't vermin." Jazz looked away, but she wasn't ashamed. She was numb. She felt nothing except a vast emptiness inside her, stretching infinitely in all directions. And that was good. She never wanted to feel again. Everything she felt in her life, everything she could remember, had been a lie. She wasn't a huntress, a predator fulfilling her place in the scheme of things by chasing down her lawful prey. She was a murderer. She was a monster. "I can't stay here anymore," she said. Uncle Bracken winced. "Where will you go?" "I don't know." He let out his breath and spoke slowly and sadly. "I have an idea." The end of chapter 3. I would like to thank you all for coming to Tea, Lore, and Counsel. Please come back again and be with us tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock p.m. I will be reading chapters 4, 5, and 6. Please come back and join us. I have enjoyed this reading, and I hope you have enjoyed it too. Thank you once again.